Welcome to Driven by Janelle, the podcast where passion meets power and women take the lead on two wheels. What drives you to ride?
In this episode of Driven by Janelle, we sit down with Center, the Puget Sound chapter president of BACA, Bikers Against Child Abuse. Fighting for those who can't fight for themselves and giving comfort when needed. Center found that her flashy pink bike does more than match her nails.
Definitely.
Yes. So, we'll first have to start with the pink. So what is it that you love about the color pink?
Well, I grew up with 7 brothers,
Okay.
the only girl.
Okay.
So that's me, pink.
Yeah.
I have to be, because
Yeah.
growing up, I wore their hand-me-downs and stuff like that. There was no pink, so as soon as I could start buying stuff, everything was pink.
Yeah, you gotta love it. I feel like for me in my 20s, people, they just randomly mention, they're like, oh my gosh, like you're wearing something pink every day. And I did it without even like knowing it.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I don't know, it just makes me feel good. So that's just what I do. So
Well, here I am, late 60s, still doing the same thing.
See, I think sometimes it's just who you are.
Yes.
Like at your core. So, and it makes people happy.
Yes.
So yes. Okay, so I want to switch back. So when did you get involved with BACA?
Almost 14 years ago.
Okay.
I had volunteered my whole life. I have 6 children, so I was team mom, room mom, PTA president, football president, all of that. And once my kids got a little bit older, I started volunteering, doing things like Ed serve everyone once out of a soup kitchen or help different things. And it wasn't enough. It wasn't taking enough time or doing something. And I had heard about BACA, went to a BACA meeting, and my heart was gone right there. And it can be 24/7.
Yeah.
I think, I would say out of a month, there's probably 23 to 25 days that I do BACA
Wow.
stuff. And it just grows in your heart. That's what you do.
Yeah. So, and I'm not super familiar with BACA. I've seen you guys at a lot of the motorcycle rallies and things like that. So for you, when you're saying you're doing things 23, 25 days a month, what is it that is needed from volunteers and people?
Well, once you become a patch member, the great thing about getting a patch, you're now allowed to be a primary for a child. Every child gets 2 primaries that are their people. They're available 24/7. If I get a kid that calls me, I had one that called at night that she was hearing noises outside and scared. So we get up and we go to her house. We found out it was a tree scraping on the window. So, we cut a couple of tree branches and stuff like that. You hang out with them, talk to them. We go to court with them. We visit them every 2 weeks.
Wow.
It is our presence that helps these children. So being there, the whole job is to empower them to no longer be afraid of the world in which they live. So it is literally visiting kids, going to court with them, their forensic interviews, anything like that.
Okay, that's amazing. So what I was wondering is, like, when you said you went to the child's house, in the middle of the night, if they're staying with a family, like, they're accepting of BACA, like, coming in at any time, or?
Yes. For us to take a BACA child, you have to have permission of the legal guardian.
Okay.
We get children sometimes from court advocates, prosecutors, all different people will refer children to us. But the first step is to talk to the parent and get their permission. And then the next thing we do before we bring them in is we ask the child's permission, because that is the whole point of a child being empowers them to make the decision. If the parent would beg us to come, and if the child said no, we leave. And then we would probably come back and ask the child again, because sometimes it's just because they're still scared, they're nervous, or they don't understand it. I personally, over all of the years, have never had one say no. I have had some that are very scared and nervous up front, and it takes a couple of visits for them to warm up to you and actually talk to you and stuff.
Okay, that's amazing. So how does BACA get reached out to?
Well, we do have a website. There's a helpline number that they can call that goes to whatever chapter you need. We do a lot of work of writing and talking to every area. We try to get with the police departments, fire departments, every agency, court advocates, the courts everywhere. Anybody who is going to work with that abused child, to get our information out for them to refer the children to us. And hopefully just your listeners will now, if they ever come across a child who's been abused, say, oh, I heard about a group called BACA. Please look them up and call them. That's our goal, is for everybody to know we're here and to send us children.
Okay, that's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah. So I guess, why do you think kids see power and strength in motorcycles or motorcycle riders?
I think the whole persona of bikers is very exciting for kids. There's in one of our videos, it shows a depiction of a young girl in court, and it really happened. Obviously, the pictures you're seeing is an actor, because we would never use a real BACA child. The judge asks the young lady, "Are you okay?" And she says, "Yes." And they said, "Are you scared?" And she says, "No, I'm not." And the judge is really taken aback. "Well, why aren't you scared?" And she looks over at the BACA people in the courtroom and she says, "My friends are way scarier than him." And that's the whole point, is the whole persona of it. And bikers are well known for, they are never going to let a child get hurt, ever. You know, there are many people in the world that tell their children, if you get lost, find a biker.
Wow.
Because that biker will help you. And I think that's what it is. Plus, just the roar and the sound of motorcycles is really cool to kids.
Yeah, I mean, when I think of a biker, I do think of someone in power.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's who you want in your corner.
Yeah, 100%.
That's amazing. So do you run into instances where other adults around the child are skeptical about BACA? And then how do you help them work through that?
Not really, because by the time we've met them, they've been referred to us. Now, I will get a call from a parent that says, "Hey, a lady at the prosecutor's office gave me your phone number. I don't really know what you do." And then you'll explain to them how it works. And then I say, "Would you like us to come out and meet you?" And I've never had one say no. So, yeah, it is very cool. Or we tell people all the time, you know, please watch our video. And I'll meet people in a restaurant, and they'll ask, "What is BACA?" And I'll tell them, and I will ask them, "Please Google and watch at least one of our video. It'll make you cry. But even if it's 10 years from now that you come across a child that needs help, you'll remember us and tell them to call us." So very rarely are they skeptical by the time they get to us.
Wow, that's amazing. How long, if someone is, working with a BACA child, how long is that process normally?
Wow. I don't know if you know our court systems. It can take a long time. We had a family who, by the time we got them, they had already been dealing with it for about 2 years. They hadn't heard of BACA before. And it was 7.5 years before their kids actually went to court.
Wow, that's
So,
a long time.
Yeah, definitely. And the changes in those kids in that time is miraculous.
Yeah.
So, and their court was just last year, and they come out 100% victorious. So,
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for anyone, it's good to have some consistency in your life.
yes.
And like you said, agency. And obviously for children, it's such a developmental, age.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
to be able to provide that to them, especially if they're in the court system, it can be very unstable.
Yes.
to-
Well, the other thing that BACA does is it gives the children someone to talk to or to look up to that's not their family, which sounds odd, except for like a child who has had something happen. Sometimes they don't want to talk to mom because it makes mom cry. It makes mom feel guilty. It makes mom feel, something. They can talk to us, and we just listen, and we just listen. And it makes them feel more comfortable sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, a lot of children, they hold a lot of responsibility, even though they're not responsible for some of the things that have happened to them.
Yes,
So,
100%.
Yeah, so you guys provide that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm loving everything I'm learning about
Wonderful.
BACA. Yes, this is amazing. If someone was interested in joining BACA, how would they go about it? Is there criteria for becoming a member?
Oh, yeah. Well, the first thing is just to contact any BACA chapter, and you would come to a meeting. You're federally background checked, and it takes over a year to get a patch because we are going to make sure that we know exactly who you are, and you are completely trained, and you know everything that we stand for and how to do that before you are ever going to be allowed around the children.
Yeah, yeah.
Because these are our kids.
Yeah. Yeah, and last thing kids need is for someone else to let them down.
Yes. One of the main things is you are taught the very second you think about joining BACA, is you will never lie to a child. If you tell a child something, you will follow through, 100%.
Yeah, so like you said, showing up in the middle of the night,
Yeah.
that's a, a big responsibility.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, but you guys came through, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Many times.
Yes, I love that. So I kind of already asked how long do you stay in the child's life, but I mean, once the case is over, do you guys remain in the child's life, or is that their choice, or when they, if they turn 18?
So it's kind of it depends by case. We had a case, actually the one that I told you about that took so many years. The mom called me 2 days after court, and she said, "Oh my God, it now feels like the demon is now in our home." So if parents are doing it correctly, because of the court system, they're never supposed to talk about it with the kids. And then these kids found out things had happened to their siblings that they never knew. One sister thought she was protecting the other kids, then the other sister, And so once they got home, after they had heard in court, they actually needed more support. So we went back to visiting every 2 weeks for a couple of more months until they felt a lot stronger. Now those kids, we have huge parties twice a year. This year we took about 90 kids to camp for 3 days. All those kids are still invited. They're all still invited. Once they turn 18, they are still invited, but they do have to be background checked to come, because now they are around the younger children.
Right.
So, but yeah, they're here forever.
Yeah.
They're here forever.
Yeah, because that's a long relationship, 7 years. That's
Yes.
a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
to end abruptly. But
Yeah, we stay as long as the kids need us.
that's so amazing.
Even before court, because it can take so long, we start out visiting every 2 weeks. We do that for, 4 visits, and then the kid calls and says, "I want to see you again." We go. We check in with the families, we do that, but it's pretty much the kid driven. It really is. It's what the child needs.
Okay. This is amazing. You guys are amazing.
Thank you. We get way more out of it than we could ever put into it.
Yeah. But just to be that consistent for children is just such like angels. It is such a, I don't know, it's a good service, but it's beyond a service, right?
Yeah.
It's life-saving probably for a lot of children.
Well, it's interesting because parents are constantly, "Thank you, thank you, thank you." And you're like, "Don't tell me thank you. You let me hang out with your amazing kid." I mean, think about it. You are giving me access to your child.
Yeah.
And it's the coolest thing ever, because we get to see these kids grow and come back. In our video, one of our international presidents has said, to see the light come back in these children's eyes is absolutely amazing. So what more could I want in life, to know that I've made a difference in a kid's life?
Right. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I have some rapid fire questions for you. Okay. Well, some of them I've already asked, but if someone needed to reach out to BACA, how and when should they do that?
As soon as possible. As soon as they know a child's been abused, and they can go on a website. There's helpline numbers. You see BACA members everywhere. However it takes, and they'll get you to the right chapter.
Okay. What is the most surprising thing about this work that you do?
I would say how easy it is, because I constantly say, I don't know how what we do works so well. I get to go to kids' houses and play. I play Barbies. I've had, we've sat on the floor and played games. And I'll tell you what, don't ever play Uno with a kid if you don't want to lose. There is 500 variations of Uno, and they will kick your butt every time.
Yeah, I remember Uno, but they're masters.
Yes.
What is one thing you always have in your ride bag?
Do I really have to answer that?
I mean, I won't
A
know.
flat iron for my hair?
That makes sense. It makes
Yes.
sense because you have your helmet on.
Yes.
I love it.
But my haircut is specifically cut like this because it fits inside the helmet, and I can still run my fingers through it, and it's fine, unless it's wet.
Yeah. That is, I think we should all add that to our bag.
Yes.
So there you go. You've saved some women's hair.
There you go.
At this point, yes. What are you currently thankful for?
Oh, well, obviously my family first, and then my BACA family would be second.
Yeah, yeah. It's amazing. If your bike had a superpower, what would it be?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so that can't be a rapid fire, but as we all know, my bike is 3 different colors of pink, silver, sparkles, loud, absolutely amazing. Your previous guest built it for me, and it is
Yay.
one of the most well-known bikes. When we go to a child's house for their very first ceremony, every child gets to pick one of the bikes to have their picture taken on and one bike to go for a ride on. And the guys are all very, that it's all my bike to get picked. We were on our way to Squim for a level 1 ceremony, and we knew it was a 15-year-old boy, very active, very sports-minded, great big kid. So all the way there on our headsets, all I was hearing, ha, your bike's not going to get picked. Finally, one of our bikes going to get picked. Hopefully he picks, 2 different ones for the picture and the ride. I had just had surgery, so as we get there, they all pulled their bikes up front. I parked mine probably 20, 30 yards away because I just had surgery and I knew it was going to take me longer to get on and off. I needed to be more careful. About 30 minutes into the ceremony is when they ask, okay, let's go look at the bikes to see which one you want your picture taken on and which one you want to ride. This kid turned around and immediately goes, F yeah, the pink one. And these men all go,
Oh my gosh.
they just look at him and then, well, let's go look at all of them. And so he walked and looked at all of them, and there was many, many there that day. And then he walked the 20, 30 yards to my bike and says,
you
nope,
go.
it's this one. And they're all like,
Yay.
okay. And because I had a total knee replacement 8 days
Wow.
prior, which
Oh my gosh.
probably shouldn't have been riding, but my husband rode my bike to give him the ride because I didn't feel comfortable doing that. But of course, the ride home, again on the helmets, that is not fair. So my bike superpower is it makes children happy and feel safe.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. The bike has a spirit.
Yes.
Yes.
And every day it is not fair, yours always get picked. Well, you could have yours painted down there at dead center and get it the
Yeah.
color you want it,
Yeah.
if you want, but
They
they
do
don't.
it.
So,
So there you
mine
go.
wins.
Your bike gets to be picked. Well, I love it.
Yep.
I mean, your bike's my favorite bike already.
Well,
'cause
thank
it's
you.
pink. So that works. So
Like I said, I told you where you could get yours painted like it.
well, I mean, I'm gonna have to. Like
Yeah.
we've already talked. So yes, yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming out, and I really appreciate you sharing about BACA and
Thank you.
sharing it with our guests. And I hope more people will join BACA. And are there any if they're not wanting to be like a full BACA member, are there volunteer opportunities for certain days or not because it's children?
It's a little different. We have people who are supporters who don't want to, maybe they don't have the time to put in as much necessary to become a patched member. We do still have supporters because there's a lot of things they can do. But you can't really volunteer because, one, we wouldn't allow you around the children.
Right, right.
It takes a long time to learn everything and all the trainings and stuff before you're allowed to do that. So no. What we need, if you really like the mission of BACA, then find us kids and make sure every child knows, their family knows how to get a hold of us. That's how you
Okay.
can volunteer for us.
Okay, so definitely just posting the awareness and how to get
Yes.
in contact with you guys.
Yes.
Right. Well, that sounds amazing.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for coming out. Thank you
I'm
guys.
absolutely honored to be able to get the word out because now there will be more people that
Yeah.
can find us, the kids.
Yes, absolutely.